Sorry. But what do you remember most about those early years?
Okay, so what I remember most about State Street in those earlier years was when you pull up to the building, it looks sketchy. It looks like a house on the block in the middle of Camden, North Camden to be exact.
All right, and then one pose with it, everybody. Adrian, if you can lean forward a little bit so the sunlight's hit. There you go, perfect.
But you know what? When you go inside, it's different. The people that you meet, as long as like that culture of learning to learn, especially at that time, was really big. So it keeps you coming back.
When I first walked through Hopeworks doors, I was so nervous, so anxious, and genuinely lacking so much confidence. And then throughout Hopeworks' adventure and my whole time here, I started to gain pieces of myself back that I felt I lost back in childhood, where I was filling up a room again, I was talking to everyone, I was confident, I was speaking in public, I was doing panels. It was life-altering. It felt like I completely changed, almost like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
The early days of State Street was kind of like the little engine that could almost. You know, we legitimately were a small organization. When I came to Hopeworks, it was literally 5 staff. And we had young professionals, probably, I think 7.
What I remember, I was a horrible person. Like, I was the worst person ever. Like, I did not want to listen to any authority. I did not want to do what they told me to do. Like, none of that. I was horrible.
Yeah, so it actually started, I started Hopeworks back in September of 2016 at our old location, 543 State Street in North Camden. So actually, I was ending a summer job, and being a college student at the time, I wasn't making any type of income. I had applied to multiple jobs here and there, but either nobody was calling me back for an interview, or if I did have an interview, then I would get, those emails saying, thank you for your time, we have chosen other candidates. And so at the time, it was very discouraging, just kind of wondering, how am I going to make some money? I'm a broke college student, and I just need to, get some type of income going on.
What helped me keep going was really the fact that they helped me get into therapy. I was able to have a therapist that I would go to every single Monday, and she would reiterate the fact as to like why I'm there. Like, she basically helped me remember why I'm there, and that's what kept me going.
Yeah, so when Hopeworks first opened its door in 2000, Father Jeff Putoff and 3 congregations had a vision for what was possible. Back in 2000, Camden was the place that the news and the media was talking about as the worst place in the world. It was the highest murder rate, it was the highest poverty rate. And Father Jeff Putoff and 3 churches said, that doesn't need to be the story of this community. And they realized, what if we engaged young adults? What if we engaged young people in making the community better? In the year 2000, remember, the internet had just come out 2 years before. So they said, how are we going to engage young people? And they had the vision. They said, we're going to do it through technology and business. And so when Hopeworks doors opened in 2000, fundamentally, it wasn't so different than what we're doing today. They saw, just as we do today, that young adults are our greatest resource, that young people are not the problem. They are the solution to the community's problems. And when they opened the doors, they started putting that vision into action.
Hi, my name is William Shrieks. I am an alumni of Hopeworks, and I now sit on the Hopeworks board. And I currently am a senior UX designer at Comcast Business. For a very long time, I was, if you could just get it together, were pretty common words to describe me. School was just, if you could just get it together, if you could just stop fighting, if you could just stop being so angry, if you could just, he has so much potential. And I didn't end up, going to like a 4-year school, even though I had access to a pretty decent education and squandered it. Ended up going to community college, and someone said, what do you want to be? And I always wanted to be a designer. I always wanted to work in design. And I said, I want to be a designer. I want to be a graphic designer. That's what I want to do with my life. I want to build things that people see. And I said, we can help you with that. We're going to bring you to North Camden. We're gonna, give you, we'll train you, we'll pay you for your training, and we will provide you with an internship afterwards. And I said, all right, that's gotta be a scam. They're like, I'm gonna go to North Camden, I'm gonna walk in a room, and there's gonna be 40 guys waiting for me. So that's gotta be a scam. They must have smelled the Collingswood on me, right? I went the next day anyway, and sure enough, that first day, the guy who gave me my tour, this guy named Patrick, became one of my very best friends in the world. I found friendship, like lifelong friendship with a bunch of people here. I found a purpose, found a mission, and sure enough, I did get to be the designer I always wanted to be.
I would say the Nairi before Hopeworks was definitely filled with anger, a lot of regrets, a lot of struggles, mental warfare, things of that nature. And I'd say that the Nairi that's standing before you like today, now, I'd have to say that I'm resilient. I'm a leader. I'm way more determined. I'm intentional. I'm focused.
So when Nairi first interviewed for the position, I was looking for somebody who had a little bit more experience. But her presence, it just took me. She had so many really good questions for me, which I wasn't expecting because she was younger, so much younger, not really into the coding realm yet. But there was just something about her, and I said, you know what? Yeah, I think I'll hire her, and we'll see how far we can go.
Hi, my name is Antoinette Fuji, and I am the Director of Workforce Development with Cooper University Healthcare. So there's already a work expectation. The bar's already been set. A lot of times individuals don't know that, it's time management. It's meeting the employer's expectations. They have a work readiness program here, and it is getting them ready for work. And that's one side of the coin, but the other one is how to be successful. Well, because you are going to a place of employment, but you're making a difference there. And I think everyone who comes here has that sort of point of view where I'm going in, I am a young professional, but they also know their value.
Hopeworks to me represents a place where people who want to do different things with their lives have an opportunity to really make a career pivot, make a life pivot. And the training curriculums within Hopeworks and the way in which it positions young adults to do different things in their lives and with their lives is so important.
What excited me when I first learned about Hopeworks was the type of work that they were doing and how the program was so unique. There's a lot of programs where it's a workforce program, but the way Hopeworks pours into individuals is what really gained my attention, and the training and development for the young individuals. So I think that that's what really, really intrigued me, because they have the counseling services. It's a very safe space for people. It's not only about, your skill set, but it's also about making sure that mentally you have a safety there.
Something I do in my day-to-day now is database testing. I never thought that I'd be using SQL and going through a corporation's database and testing within that realm. It seemed very out of my realm and very complex, but it's something that I do day to day now. I'm very grateful to Hopeworks. My life has changed drastically and very positively. Life is less stressful. I have financial stability now. I'm able to wake up happy knowing that I'm going to a job that I love. That's the most important thing to me.
Together we rise. So when I hear that phrase, I think of community and how, as a Hopeworks community, how we come together, how we are continuing, whether you're a trainee, whether you're an intern, a staff member, alum, or just a business partner or community partner, how we are all in this together.
So I was practicing this, so hopefully I'm saying it right, you guys. Castellars, like it's like a human pyramid. Have you ever seen like when Army and they put their hands down and the person before them steps on their palms and they lift them up? That's what Together We Rise means to me.
Together We Rise means a lot to me, I should say. Hopeworks culture is based on, here's my analogy. I like Michael Jordan, but the forgotten part of Mike's career is those first 6 years he was in Chicago after being drafted, before Scottie Pippen became a factor in the Chicago Bulls. Man was scoring 40 points a night and couldn't get them anywhere close to a championship. There are no Mikes here. There's a teamwork element that means pretty much every person affects every other person here. The level of care, the level of intentionality, the level of community is the only way we have succeeded as an organization. The only way I've succeeded, the only way every one of these people coming out of this program will succeed, is that someone had to lift them up. And someone had to lift that person up. Someone had to lift that person up. And eventually you're all lifting each other up at some point.
Wow. We made it. We did it. There were some difficult days. And there were days in which I'm sure you had doubt. We had doubt. But we still persevered and did it. And we didn't do this because of Jay or Dan. We did it because of all of you. It's not just the staff that make Hopeworks better or the staff that came before us. Our young adults make us better.
To think that Hopeworks has been around and helping people like me for 25 years is amazing. I'm grateful that a program exists, that it's been around for so long, that it's not just some new thing. They've been helping the community, helping people for so long. Before it was cool to do tech, they were helping people build in tech.
Because I think what's amazing about Hopeworks is they have a voice. They've come to us with ideas and we've utilized them. So I think it's a team effort. Our alumni, the things that they've been able to do and been able to suggest that we've used, it's a team effort and we made it, but we're never satisfied.
The theme Together We Rise, it kind of means a lot because with this organization, we're here to help a lot of young folks find living wage jobs, be reliable, gain those soft skills and things like that, gain their GED. But at the same time, they help us in turn. Like, we're all growing and learning together.
So we made it to 25 years. Now let's figure out what we need to do to get to the next 25 so that we can celebrate the 50. And all my locks will be gray by then.
We rise. First of all, I feel like we is a powerful word in itself, just because it's like reassuring you that it's not just you doing this. Like, it's you plus everybody else connected to you through Hopeworks going with you. So not only does Hopeworks provide that platform, but they put you on top of the platform so that you can rise.
Honestly, I'm humbled to be part of the story. I think 25 years of this amazing work, we're just a small portion of their success. But I'm happy to be a part of it. Cooper is happy to be a part of it.
You know, the thing I would say to supporters, donors, alumni is don't underestimate your impact. So often folks will say, oh, you do the work and I'm just happy to contribute. That is a lie. That's not true. The fact is, when our young adults who have had to do everything on their own walk into a place and they see folks who they've never met donating money, folks they've never encountered giving of their time. Yes, the money's important, the hours are important, but you know what's even more important to all of the donors and supporters out there? You have shown our young adults and all of us at Hopeworks that the world is a place that cares and is full of good people. That alone changes lives. So I would say to our donors and supporters, never downplay your impact. It's massive.
Companies like Holman can help close the gap between raw talent and a new opportunity in a multitude of different ways. But what I reflect on a lot is Holman has a company purpose, and that company purpose is very simple. It's to create a rewarding career for us and a better life for us and our families. That is our entire corporate purpose. And being able to take talented, confident young adults and help give them those opportunities could not fit more with that purpose. So from my perspective, having that dedication to wanting to grow people and help them build a life is so important. And there are so many companies out there who think the same thing. Companies that work with Hopeworks today, maybe companies that don't, but there's a lot of companies that have that attitude, and I think having that attitude first and then following through by finding Hopeworks and the young adults within the system is so important.
You know, when I think about why this is an important milestone, of course it's great to celebrate 25 years. Of course it's great to celebrate all the victories and all the successes and all the challenges. But you know the really thing that makes this important, the real reason it's important to celebrate 25 years, is Hopeworks 25 years ago started with this premise that young adults were the biggest resource the community had. And if you give them the resources that they can do amazing things. We've proven that. And now we're scaling it. And so 25 years is great for all the milestones, but you know what it really is? It is showing anyone who's ever doubted young adults that they should get out of the way.
Wow. You want to tell a story? I'll tell this story if you want to tell another one. I got a million of them. So my first week working at Hopeworks, I started on a Monday, and I think it was a Friday when this all went down. I'm covering lunch in the house, and all of a sudden there was a commotion that took place outside. A young man came in and said, one of our young people, one of our people, is having some issues outside right now. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? He's having beef with somebody. Okay, how many? There's like 7 people right now that he's beefing with outside. So I run out there and I was like, what's going on? Nah, man, these people have an issue, da-da-da-da. And I could literally see all of these gang members have guns, and they literally about to do something. Broad daylight. This is like 12:45-ish. So me not being wrapped too tight, I'm the one who jumps in and says, listen, we're an organization that helps young adults. I don't know what's going on with you guys, but y'all need to just chill. Let this man out of this circle and let me bring him back in. So I bring him out of the circle. I'm guiding. Now he's still woofing. He's still saying a whole lot of stuff. Okay, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, please be quiet. I'm bringing you back inside. And out of nowhere, Dan Roten, by himself, Caucasian male, goes across the street and says, I'll be right back. He goes in the trap house with like 7+ gang members. And I think to myself, he's dead. He's not coming out. And I tell, one of our other staff members, I'm like, I think we should call the police. Because like something, he's not coming out. Dan comes out, And I'm like, what happened? What did you do? Are you crazy? And he was like, oh, we just went in there. We just had an understanding that, we're going to mind our business and they're going to mind theirs. And I was like, how did you go about that? And he was like, we just had a conversation. And I just looked at him. Like, he's walking back into the house. I'm just following him like, this guy's crazy. He's lost his mind. But what's crazy about this is our young adults, the small group of young adults that we had, including this young man, said, if you guys will risk your lives to make sure that I am safe, I guess I should show up on time on Monday. It actually helped our retention, and it actually helped us grow, because they literally said, this black dude who's new here, his name's Jay, and this white guy, Dan Roten, they are crazy. But if they would do that for us, the least we could do is put more effort into coming on time and doing what we need to do in the organization. So it actually helped our culture. As crazy as it sounds, it helped build our culture. And it was actually a stepping stone for us growing from a trap house and a gang situation.